The U.S. Air Force's decision to equip MQ-9 Reapers with ALTIUS drones marks a significant turning point in the evolution of American unmanned warfare. What began as a series of small-scale experiments has now entered the phase of operational deployment, driven by a $50 million SBIR Phase III contract awarded to Anduril Industries. This shift is far more important than its dollar value suggests. It signals a structural transformation in how the Pentagon intends to use large unmanned aircraft in future conflicts, especially in contested environments where survivability and distributed lethality are becoming decisive factors. By awarding an SBIR Phase III indefinite delivery/indefinite quantity contract, the Pentagon effectively acknowledges that ALTIUS has matured from an innovative prototype into a capability ready for widespread fielding. Under U.S. acquisition law, Phase III means the technology is stable, proven, and eligible for sole source procurement, an important detail, because it elevates ALTIUS from an experiment to something approaching a program of record. The Air Force Special Operations Command, AFSOC, as well as other services, can now integrate, scale, and deploy the system without waiting for lengthy competitive cycles. At the core of this development is the ALTIUS-600 family, a tube-launched Group 2 drone known for its impressive endurance and range relative to its size. Weighing around 20 pounds with more than 4 hours of endurance and roughly 440 kilometers of reach, ALTIUS is far from a typical small UAS. Its modular payload system, accommodating electro-optical sensors, infrared packages, synthetic aperture radars, electronic surveillance tools, communications relays, or warheads, lets the drone serve as a multi-role asset. But the centerpiece of the family is the ALTIUS-600M loitering munition. Carrying a 3-kilogram warhead and retaining the parent airframe's long endurance, the 600M acts less like a one-way, kamikaze drone, and more like a miniature cruise missile capable of searching, identifying, confirming, and striking targets deep inside enemy territory. This ability fundamentally changes how the MQ-9 Reaper can be used. Traditionally, the Reaper's combat power has relied on a combination of precision-guided munitions, hellfires, paveways, dams, paired with high-quality ISR sensors like the MTSB turret and Lynx SAR. But the MQ-9 itself must approach a target area closely enough to deliver these weapons, placing the aircraft within reach of modern air defense systems. The escalating threat environment in places such as the Red Sea, where MQ-9s have faced hostile fire from Iranian-backed actors, has forced the Air Force to rethink the Reaper's survivability model. ALTIUS provides a technical and conceptual solution. Instead of pushing the $20 million Reaper directly into contested airspace, crews will hold the mothership hundreds of kilometers away, safely outside radar range or surface-to-air missile envelopes. From this standoff position, the MQ-9 becomes a launch platform for swarms of small, expendable assets. These drones can fan out, map the electronic environment, hunt for air defense batteries, identify command posts, or loiter for hours over suspicious activity. When required, 600M variants can deliver precise, local-lateral strikes. This is a major shift. A single MQ-9 sortie transforms from one large shooter into an aerial task group of sensors, decoys, jammers, and loitering weapons. The Pentagon's contract reinforces this shift by buying not just drones, but the entire ecosystem needed to operationalize the concept. Data links, launch tubes, training, integration engineering, new accessories, and configuration control ensure that MQ-9 squadrons can field an array of ALTIUS loadouts. The Air Force wants to create a flexible playbook, ISR drones for persistent surveillance, EW-configured drones to blind or confuse air defenses, decoys to soak up missiles, and 600M munitions to complete the kill chain. All of this aligns with the broader vision of distributed, attritable autonomous warfare emphasized in the Replicator Initiative: small, smart, cheap, and many platforms working together to complicate adversary planning. The Reaper-ALTIUS pairing is also strategically relevant across multiple theaters. In the Indo-Pacific, where Chinese air defense networks pose a formidable challenge, ALTIUS-equipped MQ-9s could probe island chains and coastal defenses without exposing the mothership to immediate danger. In Europe, as NATO adapts to Russian long-range artillery and mobile air defense systems, ALTIUS swarms could play a role in suppression of enemy air defenses, counter-battery missions, and ISR overwatch. In the Middle East and Africa, ALTIUS-equipped Reapers would allow operators to maintain orbits over vast areas while dispatching small drones for compound surveillance, convoy escort, or surgical strikes with lower collateral risk compared to 500-pound bombs. This adaptability is precisely what modern conflict demands. Another important dimension is joint force integration. The U.S. Army already employs ALTIUS as part of its air-launched effects architecture, launching the drones from Gray Eagles, helicopters, and ground vehicles. This opens the door to a unified ecosystem where Army aviation, Air Force MQ-9s, and potentially Navy or Marine Corps aircraft launch the same family of drones, all feeding into a joint data network envisioned in the future Joint All-Domain Command and Control architecture. This interoperability is not just convenient, it is essential for the multi-domain operations strategy that the Pentagon is shaping for future conflicts with near-peer competitors. The path that led to this moment has been incremental but intentional. Area I, later acquired by Anduril, spent years perfecting air-launched effects for special operations and conventional forces. Integrating ALTIUS into Anduril's Lattice autonomy software stack allowed the system to evolve beyond a simple ISR platform into a modular drone family capable of reconnaissance, EW, swarming, and strike missions. With the new contract, Anduril is tasked with continuously refining payloads, accessories, and integrations while guaranteeing supply stability for operational units through 2028. What emerges from this transition is a new identity for the MQ-9 Reaper. It is no longer just a large unmanned shooter orbiting with a handful of guided missiles. Now, each MQ-9 flight becomes an orchestrator of unmanned effects, a drone carrier capable of deploying multiple autonomous assets across a wide battle space. This model significantly enhances the Reaper's relevance at a time when powerful air defense systems threaten traditional unmanned aircraft operations. The true test will be how quickly and aggressively AFSOC and the broader Air Force scale this approach. If implemented fully, it could redefine the role of unmanned aviation in U.S. power projection and signal a clear commitment to swarming autonomy as a central feature of future warfare.